Tonight, an exclusive WUSA 9 investigation our team has been working on for months. Homeowners in Prince George's County are sounding the alarm over what they call systemic discrimination in the housing market. They claim houses owned by black families in predominantly black neighborhoods are subjected to bias and valued differently. And they say they're losing thousands of dollars in generational wealth, and they've started an advocacy group to act. Here's Larry Miller with tonight's special assignment, appraising Prince George's County.
Two families dealing with the same problem involving their large luxury homes. They believe their houses in Prince George's County fell short when appraised by certified appraisers. Some suggest the shortfall is the result of the market. These families, however, call it blatant discrimination.
How is it that the wood and the walls and the nails, right, that were used, how are they worth less than what they cost us? When in neighboring counties, we're seeing that the exact same builder building the exact same size and type of home is worth twice as much as what our home costs to build.
Every realtor said, we don't know that your house will sell for that price because it's not going to appraise for that in Prince George's County. Houses in Prince George's County don't appraise for over $1 million, and they definitely don't sell.
The two families say this isn't a coincidence, it's a trend where homes in predominantly black neighborhoods are valued differently. Jacqueline Priestley and her husband built their dream home in Bowie last April.
We wanted more space and, multi-generational living with, mom and my stepdad living with us too. We looked in other counties in Maryland and then decided to stay in Prince George's County because we recognized the fact that you can't put a price tag on community.
But community would come at a cost. After building their nearly 9,000 square foot home from the ground up, they needed financing, so an appraisal was ordered. When appraisers tour a home, they look at and consider the overall condition of the property, square footage, upgrades, and location. The first appraisal came back at $1.2 million. Priestley and her husband pushed back, alleging certain features in the house were not considered. Another appraisal was ordered. The second appraisal would come back at $1.3 million, but it still fell short of their total construction costs of nearly $1.8 million, leaving them in the red nearly $500,000.
For as much as we're not gaining financially in choosing Prince George's County, we are gaining exponentially in terms of that true community experience that is hard and rare to find.
But Rashunda Ingram Harvey and her husband Derek don't see it that way.
Just don't buy in Prince George's County. I mean, at the end of the day, this is historical. This is not something that just started. This is something that's been going on.
Gearing up for a move to Texas, the two put their 5-bedroom Upper Marlboro home on the market earlier this year. They listed it for $1.25 million and received an offer above the list price. The house appraised at $1.19 million, lower than the nearly $1.3 million sales price. The realtor tried stepping in.
How often do African American people buy $1 million homes? And in an area like that where, they look at Prince George's County as an area that's made for black people.
These stories reflect a known problem. A 2018 report from the Brookings Institute showed that owner-occupied homes in black neighborhoods are undervalued by about $48,000 on average. That average remained consistent when we examined their data for the Washington Metro. And when you consider the losses nationwide, the Brookings Institute says it amounts to about $156 billion in cumulative losses. Researchers point to bias in the home buying process for contributing to the disparity, pointing out appraisals as an important role. An analysis by real estate brokerage Redfin said appraisals can be problematic because they can perpetuate the cycle of racism by assigning lower values to homes in black neighborhoods than white neighborhoods. Dr. Daryl Fairweather is Redfin's chief economist.
I think appraisals are an important modern day factor because appraisers have a lot of power. They come in and they say what the home is worth, what the bank is willing to lend against the home, and they may do their best to be as objective as possible, but ultimately those appraisals are subjective because it's an individual making them and putting their own view onto how to interpret all the factors that go into what makes a home valuable.
The allegations of appraisal bias are so strong it even attracted the attention of the Prince George's County Association of Realtors, who earlier this year sent a survey to its more than 3,000 members looking for specific examples of appraisal bias. We're told about less than 500 surveys have been returned and the results from that survey are pending. But while homeowners complain of appraisal bias, few are filing complaints. The Maryland Commission of Real Estate Appraisers, Appraisal Management Companies, and Home Inspectors tells us on average they receive about 5 complaints a month. And when we ask specifically about complaints filed in Prince George's County about the devaluation of their homes, officials tell us they weren't aware of an influx of complaints. Priestley and Harvey said they did not file formal complaints because they had no idea the commission existed. But Priestley hopes educating others will save time and money. She and a group of community leaders formed the group Fair and Unbiased Appraisal Advocates. They even launched the website blackhomesmatter.org.
Until we bring this conversation to the forefront, to one that homeowners know to be their own advocates and to be aware of this, and to the conscious of appraisers and banks, we've got a lot of work to do.
The new group has already begun to generate buzz as it works to stomp out bias, something Rashunda and Derek say they worry less about now living in Texas, building a new $1 million home in a neighborhood with no known issues of appraisal bias.
We wish things had been different in Maryland, because at the end of the day, you spend $1 million on something, you want your money to go to the right place. You want to know that your purchase is valued and that you can make your money back. And it just wasn't something that we could do there.
We checked in with the appraisers involved in the 2 homes that we mentioned, and none of them would offer a comment on this story. Maryland state officials recommend hiring appraisers that are familiar with the area being appraised. That's something that you can demand from the bank. There is a lot more to this story. Right now, we have more information on what goes into the appraisal process. We even went on a home appraisal. You can see that part of the story right now on our WUSA 9 mobile app and our website, WUSA9.com. I'm Larry Miller. Back to you.